right, thank you so much, our chief guest, Madam Florence Bore, the cabinet secretary, social protection, our PS, Mr. Joseph Motari, State Department for Social Protection. All protocols observed. Children, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. On behalf of the technical working group, we'd want to say that as we celebrate this day, Kenya continues to experience an increase in the number of cases of missing children. An example, in 2022, between January and May, those are 5 months, 6,374 cases of missing children were reported. That translates to 1,275 children going missing every month, and about 42 children every day. And what we're saying is that one child lost is one too many. So what we are saying is that we take note of why children are missing, and some of the issues that have been documented even in our CPMS is neglect, abuse or violence, conflict, harmful practices, teenage pregnancies, mental health, among others. And those are the reasons as to why children are running away from their homes, from the schools, and from the institutional care. So for us to win this fight, we need to promote the safety of children as is recognized in the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development as a precondition for global, regional, and national development. Kenya has already demonstrated its commitment on matters missing children. A national technical working group that has been mentioned here, which put together this event, spearheaded by the Directorate of Children's Services, is in place and has been working to develop a model framework on standard procedures for missing and found children, which is a true demonstration of leading from the front. So, as the technical working group, we hereby wish to encourage each one of us seated here today to play our part to promote the safety of our children. On this day, we are called to join hands in effort to honor those children who are still missing as we celebrate those who have been found. The theme has been shared by our director, is that let's strengthen family and community care to prevent and respond to cases of missing and found children. And from Terra des Homes, Netherlands, where I work as the program manager for Kenya, we are committed to ensuring that children grow and develop in a safe environment, free from neglect, abuse, violence, abduction, and all other forms of exploitation. So allow me to request the technical working group, wherever you are, please stand and wave. The technical working group for missing and found children, please. Yeah, that is the team that helped in putting this together. Let's appreciate them. So thank you so much. Thank you, and wish you all the best. Asanteni sana.
Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Dennis. We now have the next representative from Daystar University, Dr. Roslyn Olumbe. Welcome, Dr.
Honorable Madam CS and all protocols observed. I'm Roslyn Olumbe from Daystar University. And when we think about the issue of missing children, I think it's a matter of concern. I start by giving just 3 examples. 2009, I lost my own child, but in the car park. He just crawled across the estate, and for 3 hours we couldn't find him. It was distressing. Second example, a colleague of mine got lost for a whole year and was taken in by good caregivers who took care of her, and after 1 year, returned her back to her parents. The story is long. She's still traumatized today. And 3 years ago, a friend of mine lost her child who had just gone to make her hair before she goes to school. What am I saying here? The issue of missing children is real. Can happen anywhere, at home, on the streets, and in schools or wherever. And many factors, I think, have been researched. As a university, what do we pick from this? That actually this is a rich area that needs to be studied so that we can be able to understand the push and the pull factors. I was checking online just to find publications done on missing children in Kenya. And I only found one, unfortunately. I looked across the globe, and there were several studies that have been done. Psychosocial effects, causes of that, and that is a very high percentage, and that means we have to research further on that. So what are we proposing? I think we need to engage further together with the ministry so that we can carry out research and find out the issues, but to offer psychosocial support for children who have been found, and finally do communication so that we can trace children. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Thank you. Honorable guest of honor, we were supposed to have the representative of European Union. They collaborate with us on issues of children, but they had an engagement, so they sent their apology. Itau, you continue with part of the program?
Thank you, our guest. Normally, in these events, our guest of honor, we also like adults also to do entertainment, not only children. So at this juncture, just to cut the monotony of speeches, I want to welcome Davis Marie Center. Domas, yes, Domas Marie. Domas Marie, 1 minute. If you take more than a minute, I'll go back to the speeches. Normally we do that for the children also to feel that part of entertainment. Not only children entertaining adults. One presentation only, just one, eh? Makofi, tumpigie makofi mgeni wetu anapoingia kwenye uwanja. Thank you. Na yeye pia asikie that feel. Thank you. Tumpigie makofi mazuri. Thank you. Haya. Asanteni sana. I think now they have had the feel. Now they can sit down. Sawa, toa. Haya. Sawa. Toa. Sawa. Asante. Wacha tufikishe hapo kwa heshima na tuwapigie makofi mazuri wanapoondoka uwanjani. I know it's very difficult kukata entertainment, especially when it's at its peak, but because of time, our guest, we have to do that. But normally we do that to break the monotony of the speeches. And now we go back to speeches because now children have no long concentration span. Thank you. Welcome, Director.
Thank you, Mr. Gitau. Honorable guest of honor, I know your schedule is so tight, but I would want to recognize the two ladies who are seated next to you. They have been very instrumental in the issue of missing children. Antena Morgan from the Center for Missing Children. Just award.
Okay, thank you very much. As you've heard, my name is Athena Morgan. I'm with the International Center for Missing and Exploited Children. The headquarters are in Alexandria, USA, but I am the regional representative for Africa. I am happy to be here today and to partner with the government and local stakeholders in addressing issues of missing children. The one thing I'd like to highlight is between February and May of this year, ICMEC did an assessment in partnership with our local stakeholders to assess the gaps that exist in the missing children structure within the country. The report is here. We shall present you with a copy afterwards. But I'd like to highlight the 7 key thematic areas, and out of each, very briefly, name the key gaps that stood out for us. So the first thematic area was under definition. And we saw that we need to do more in terms of our legislation to break down who a missing child is and circumstances in which a child can go missing, so that in the event that a child goes missing, we actually know that we are supposed to report and who we are supposed to be reporting to. And that marries in with our second thematic area, which is under reporting. And I'd like to acknowledge the work of Missing Children Kenya by Madam Marian Munyenda. They run a toll-free line that receives cases of missing children and assists in the investigation. I'd like to also acknowledge the National Child Helpline, that is 116, and say that there is a need for us to make this known to the public so that they know the options that are there before they just run off to the police station. They know that we have an option of doing an online report for speedy investigation into the case. And the third one, which is now under investigation, is we need to know that you don't have to wait for 24 hours or 48 hours to report a child as missing. A missing child's case should be handled with urgency, and if we legislate the need to know that there is not supposed to be a waiting time for missing children, then all the necessary agencies will be called to action immediately a case is reported. And also on exit and entry requirements, which is another thematic area, we realize that a lot is happening across our borders where children are being trafficked in and out of the country for some of the reasons that the previous speakers have spoken about. I think we have a mandate to strengthen the legislative system and the capacity of the people who man the borders, the airports, the land and sea, so that children who are going out of the country and coming into the country are accounted for and they are with responsible and guardians or adults. The last two are on public notification, where we need to have collaboration between all public sectors, and whereby it is able to distribute whenever a child is going missing, that we can all come together and assist in the location, especially if it is an area that is high risk, and also creating the awareness as we are doing today. So I'd like to acknowledge the effort of everyone who's here today. I'd like to thank Esther Mugore for the effort she really put in helping us come up with the assessment. And for ICMEC, one child missing, exploited, or abused is one too many. We look forward to doing more with the government and local stakeholders to keep the Kenyan children safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Morgan. Munyenda, I would kind to just wave. The CS has a very tight statue, please, kindly, yeah. I want now to welcome the PS for the State Department for Social Protection, Joseph Mutari. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Director, Children's Services. Our chief guest of honor, none other than Waziri Wetu, Florence Bore. Our partners, all of them who are here today, and who must have made this possible. Our children, and those of us who have attended. Good afternoon. Habari za mchana. Thank you so much. Our guest of honor, today is your day to talk to us. But slightly before you talk to us, I'm from another function of children again, where I have had a lot of talk about the children matters. Today is the day of the missing children globally. And we are here to commemorate the same as a country. And we are happy, Madam Waziri, that you found time. I actually knew you were not coming, because where you are, I did not expect you to get out of that. But you tried to get some time, and out of that, you came to be with us. Because you as a mother, you know how children issues are that important. So, Waziri, mine is just to stress on one, because it's a day of the missing children, that children miss in various ways. There are those who miss, as they have said, the speakers before me. There are those who miss because of negligence, for those who are supposed to take care of them. And those are the bad ones. But when a child misses because he's lost, he could not trace his way home, at least that is softer, is understood. But when a parent decides, or the two parents decide to ignore the child, and therefore we find our children in the streets, then that's the wrong way of that child missing. So mine, as the PS for Children's Services in the Republic of Kenya, I want to stress this one before you, Madam Waziri, that it is high time parents became serious about children issues. It's high time for anybody who takes care of a child, takes that with the seriousness it deserves. We have had our children not only missing, but also harassed. Others are molested, others are just killed, just like that. So we want to put this as a very, very, very serious warning, that should we find that happening, should we find parents, because of their own negligence, children are harassed, children's rights are not being taken care of, we use the Children Act and take the serious measures upon that child, that parent. So please, my request to parents of the Republic of Kenya is that we take care of our children. This is our next generation. And they need to be taken care of as required by the law. So that is what I wanted to mention before you, Waziri. Because as I told you, today is you to talk to us about children as a teacher, as a mother, as Mheshimiwa, and as Waziri of matters children. So mine is just to ask you people, we put our hands together as we welcome our CS for Labor and Social Protection, where children are domiciled, to come and talk to us. So please, moja, Billy, please continue. I'll not do Riyadh like Getau Dash, because that one is not my vocabulary. Karibu Waziri.
Thank you very much. A clap for the PS. Thank you. Before I go to my speech, I really want to thank every one of you who has made it to here, the Directorate of Children's Services, the teams from our ministry, the ladies and gentlemen that are here, our children, I'm told they've been here since morning, the participants that have performed here, and our partners that have partnered with us and have made this day a successful day. And I'm happy that there is such a day. And it's interesting that I've just learned when I've come to the ministry that there is a day of missing children. And indeed, wherever we come from, wherever we are, once in a while, we meet children that are missing. We have children that we are related to that have disappeared, wamepotea, hawajulikani wameenda wapi. And I was just thinking whether I have experienced that before. And I did many years ago, 25, I think, years ago, when I met a child, alikuwa amepotea, ameongoja mzazi, ampik shule, mzazi akachelewa. You know what that child did? Aliona anajua njia ya kwenda nyumbani. Na uniform, akatoka shule, akaenda akilia, akienda direction ya nyumbani. But me as a parent, I had picked mine. And because I saw that child and time was up, it was almost 6:30, walking alone crying, I just thought, as a mother, I will not see that child getting lost. I picked the child, asked him where his home was, and I took him up to his home. 25 years ago, the father reached out to me this year. He's been unwell. And just to introduce himself, he told me, I'm the father of that child. You picked him those 25 years ago. I'm unwell. I need support. I don't remember the face of that child, but I remember the incident, that I picked a child and took him to his home. Wasn't that nice? You don't have to pick your own. All these children as parents, all these children are ours. Those who are mothers like me, hata mtoto akilia kule nje, unafikiria ni wako. You pick that child. That instinct of a mother will always make you pick any child that is in distress. I don't know whether the men here and the men in Kenya have that instinct that we as mothers have. Do you have PS? Hawa wanaume wanakaanga wagumu. I think because as we carry for 9 months and we breastfeed, do they? The men don't, isn't it? But anyway, we all are parents. Let's take care of those missing children. Mr. Joseph Motari, Principal Secretary for Social Protection and Senior Citizens. Charles Ondogo, Director for Children's Services. Leah Kagwe, Assistant County Commissioner, Dagoretti Sub-County. Athnena Morgan, International Center for Missing Children and Exploited Children. Mariana Munyendo, CEO, Missing Child, Kenya. Henry Oduya, Chairman, Koinonia Community Center. The Technical Working Group on Missing Children Day 2023. Representatives of children and parents present. All partners present. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. When I saw the invitation to this event, it got me thinking as a parent, what goes through the mind of a parent whose child has gone missing. A missing child can be the toughest nightmare that a parent can bear. Ladies and gentlemen, whereas we imagine how hard it can be to have a child, it is a reality that a total of 6,841 children were reported missing between July 2022 to May 2023. And these are just but the reported cases. There are cases that are not reported. Today, I'm pleased to join you in marking the International Missing Children Day, which is observed on the 25th May every year. The theme for this year, which is strengthening family and community care to prevent and respond to cases of missing and found children, underscores the role of the family and community in ensuring the safety and well-being of our children. This day presents the opportunity to remind ourselves of the many children who are yet to be traced, and further enable us to celebrate our children who have been found, including the 1,296 children that were reunited with their parents and caregivers between July 2022 and this month, 2023, May. Ladies and gentlemen, missing children go through psychological torture, and likewise to the parents and their families. The agents of darkness who prey on our children are evolving every day. A number of children have gone missing from their homes, their neighborhoods, in schools, and in institutions of care. A case is told of a mother who was accompanying her 2 children to school, only to turn back home a few meters away from the house to pick a forgotten item. As she walked back to the children, she saw them talking to someone in a slow-moving vehicle. And as she shouted, the 2 children were pulled to the vehicle and the car sped away. You can just imagine how unbearable that situation was to that parent. With the dynamic tactics of the perpetrators of missing children, indeed we need to be extra vigilant in watching over our children. Ladies and gentlemen, child protection systems should be evolving, and their roles are becoming more responsive to the challenges of the contemporary society that we